All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially live. Small technical difficulties, much like tonight's game. Monday Night Football officially in the books. Week 17, Rams taking another primetime L on the road in Atlanta, 27-24. Making sure I'm coming in. I'm not looking pixelated or delayed, right? We're good, guys? Okay.
Good.
All right. Tyler Dragon, my fearless co-host of USA Today, Ryan Anderson of LAFB. Gents, how we feeling tonight?
Better than the Rams. That is for sure, especially after tonight. But, I mean, it's the holiday season. I still got my Christmas tree in the back. I hope you two are doing well.
Still got my Christmas tree up as well, doing much better than the Rams. Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, livid in their post-game pressers, ready to move on from this week 100%.
Yeah, livid, frustrated. Not a lot you can kind of say after what went down last week against Seattle, and hearing McVay kind of say, we're going to respond, we're tested. This is going to show, what we're made of. And to have tonight, which we'll break down tonight, Bleav in Rams presented by Fanduel. I believe the line, the Rams what were they favored? 6.5? I mean, fair road favorites against a team that really didn't have anything to play for other than pride. Raheem Morris, the former Rams DC, guess he sort of knew what was coming. Initial instant reactions, Ryan, go for it.
Bijan Robinson. Holy cow. Yeah. I mean, you and I were texting, Erin, and you were saying, Kirk Cousins, can you believe Kirk Cousins is beating the team? It wasn't Kirk Cousins. It was Bijan Robinson. 66% of the offensive yards for the Falcons by Bijan Robinson alone. It was a one-man wrecking crew in this game, and the Rams did not have any answers. And is this a concern going forward? Absolutely, yes, because I think if you look back to the Panthers game, there's no Bijan on the field, but they ran the ball 40 times and only threw it 20 times, and were able to come out with the victory against a better Rams team. So Bijan is my big takeaway. I mean, is he the MVP?
Well, apparently Erin was texting both of us, because I texted Erin back. I got Saquon Barkley flashbacks because Bijan Robinson looked like Saquon Barkley looked against the Rams last year. I mean, that 93-yard touchdown run, that's the longest touchdown run in Falcons franchise history, the longest run in Bijan Robinson's career. And he had a couple more really good runs. It seemed like every time he got the ball, he was always making the first man miss. And you look at this Rams team, if we turn it forward to the playoffs, I mean, they can face Saquon Barkley in the wild card round of the playoffs. Oh, if you don't, then you're probably facing a good team with a solid running game, and that the Chicago Bears, and they have a top 5 rushing offense. So to spin it forward, the Rams have to get their run defense shored up quick, fast, and in a hurry, because it's going to be another quick exit in the playoffs. But yeah, it was the Bijan Robinson show, and I thought the Rams came out sluggish. I mean, I thought that for pretty much that first half, they were stuck in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle that last game, because 21-0, that's just inexcusable for a Rams team against an inferior, really, Falcons team.
Yeah, almost 200 yards rushing by Robinson himself. And Rams losing back-to-back games for the first time this season, both of them in prime time. And you have to wonder why they came out flat yet again. The half, they certainly showed. I mean, they were down, 24-3. And to me, I enjoy the off-gassing on X and, kind of in real time experiencing what the fans are saying and how you're experiencing the game, whether you're a fan of the Rams or just football in general. That Jared Verse blocked field goal or extra point return for a touchdown, felt like the spark the Rams were missing. But it just didn't seem to compensate or overcompensate for the 3 INTs Stafford had, 2 of them being pick sixes. What do you think was going on? One of the things I also tweeted, which I always, per Ryan, understanding my a lot of times expressing the emotion of the game or the momentum of the game, you got to have short-term memory. But it just seemed like Stafford, and you mentioned it post-game, Ryan, what do you think it was? I mean, they were missing 2 offensive linemen. Yeah. They were missing Davante, and they were missing Q Lake. They're going to get probably those guys back before the postseason. But is that what it was? I mean, do they not trust do they not trust the Tutus, the Xaviers? And, even Jarquez Hunter didn't get activated. And losing a Blake Corum tonight seemed like that was an all-important decision to have at least that guy somewhat activated who hasn't been active this entire season.
Yeah. Kyron Williams also in the medical tent tonight as well. He was able to come back, obviously. But really interesting things. I think that the injuries played a huge part. Alaric Jackson is probably an unsung hero on this team that we just don't notice enough. We don't give enough praise to Alaric Jackson. Case in point, DJ Humphries comes in and just has I don't want to throw it all on him. There were plenty of mistakes everywhere else, but allowed a tackle for loss in the backfield on a 4th and 1. That was huge. Couple of pressures, a sack definitely on him. You look at Stafford
and the touchdown that was negated. That huge, amazing
couple of
catch
big penalties.
by
2 big penalties, as I recall, as well. But if you look at Stafford's heat chart, the Falcons were doing a fantastic job taking away parts of the field. You can look at Puka Nakua's stat line specifically if you want to for that 47 yards. That is his 8th worst performance in 43 games across his career. Hell, he's averaging 97 yards per game in his career so far, which is just insane. But he was really limited to just the middle of the field. So 15 of his targets went to the middle of the field, less than 10 yards. So they were doing a really good job. That defense was doing a really fantastic job. 15 of 38 passing attempts to just a very small portion of the field, middle of the field, less than 10 yards. So you got to give him credit, and those injuries have played a huge part. And I think, you bring up Davante, huge part of this offense. They have to lean on the running backs when Davante is not in there. And they came out of the gate not really doing that. And I think that cost them. And obviously when you put the game entirely in Stafford's hands, that increases the probability of him throwing the game away. So just, a perfect storm for this team, I guess, is where I'll leave that.
So the injuries definitely hurt. There's no doubt about that. But overall, when you look at this game, in my opinion, I think it was a rare off night for Stafford. I mean, he threw multiple errant passes. One that was picked that was a little bit high. The long interception was a 50-50 ball. And then, the pick 6 and whatnot. So I think this game kind of hurts his MVP candidacy a little bit. I still think he's one of the favorites, could be still the favorite. We'll see how he performs in week 18. But when you compare that to Drake May's performance, albeit the New York Jets, it's like, okay, I mean, these voters, I'm one of them, look at these games and like how you finish the season strong. And Stafford, you lost now 2 games on your resume in prime time. And how are you going to do to rebound that? But yes, the offensive line hurt. And you have to give Raheem Morris and the Falcons defense some credit too. Morris's knowledge of Sean McVay's offensive system certainly played a role. AJ Terrell, I think, played a really nice game, especially covering Puka Nacua. Jesse Bates is one of the best safeties in the league. Watts, I feel like he was all over the field, nearly had a pick 6, just stepped out of bounds. So, I mean, you have to give the Falcons credit. I mean, they're playing for pride. They don't want to just lay down and go home and have a terrible season on the losing streak. So you have to give them credit. But I just feel like the Rams came out flat. That was a huge psychological loss, it's an emotional loss last week in Seattle. And I think that they won't say it, but I feel like that took a toll on the team because the number 1 seed in the NFC West, that's not there anymore. No matter what happened tonight. And I think the Rams played like the NFC West and the number 1 seed was not in the cards anymore. Because if it was, I have a feeling that they would have came out like gangbusters and really put their foot on the gas against the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting after the broadcast, kind of hearing Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, get asked by SVP, are you concerned? Are you worried? And then both kind of saying, no, they're not. They're going to get their reinforcements back in time for the postseason. But, you just kind of have to wonder, it's going to be a long flight home for McVay. And you got to wonder, just because Raheem is familiar with this team, did a blueprint get figured out? Ryan talking about Stafford and just kind of feeling off or flat. He was blitzed and threw an interception, I want to say for the first time this season against the blitz. And he entered the day with 24 touchdowns successfully against the blitz, which is the most in the last 20 seasons. That's per ESPN Insights. So it's almost kind of like, are we seeing the blueprint of this Rams team sort of unfold against back-to-back teams that did the Rams come in sort of maybe underestimating the competition? Do we have an understanding of are the Rams just better at home? What did we sort of figure out about this team moving forward as we look to Arizona? And, look, I think they still can get the 5 seed, right? They need a win next week. And is it the 49ers need to lose in order for them to get the 5 seed?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does that mean? What happens if they get the 5 seed? That means they play the winner of
Panthers, Bucks.
The NFC South,
Which
right?
is a very favorable matchup for whoever is the 5 seed. Let's be honest. And I like, in my opinion, I feel like the Seahawks are going to beat the 49ers, but the 49ers have been proving me and everybody wrong all season. So the best case scenario is that the Rams get the 5 seed because, let's face it, the NFC South, although the Rams lost to an NFC South team tonight, that's probably one of the weaker divisions in football. The Rams did already lose to the Panthers. The Bucks, they didn't play the Bucks this year, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Oh, they beat the Bucks. So
yeah.
I feel a lot more comfortable for the Rams if they play them rather than a Chicago Bears or a Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of teams that can rush the ball, the Chicago Bears are one of the best rushing teams in the league right at this point. So, would I want to see Carolina again if I was this team? No, but I think McVay would come out with a pretty aggressive, let's say, style of play in that game to get that one back from Dave Canales. Yeah, I think everything's favoring the Rams right now to get the 5 seed, but those pesky 49ers, they are going to stick around. They're going to give it to them. They beat the Seattle team. It was 17 weeks ago, but they did beat them. So, yeah, I think
who would you rather have the Rams face in the NFC? Would you rather be the Seahawks or the Niners?
If I were the Rams, I would rather play than the Niners. Yes.
I think
the 49ers, although they have been exceeded expectations, they're still without Nick Bosa. They're still without Fred Warner. Brandon Ayuk, who's been without him all year. So, I mean, the 49ers definitely.
Yeah, I think you look at both of those Seattle Seahawks games, and they both came down to the wire. Either one could have gone either way. And that second Niners game was an actual beatdown. And it just seems without a pass rush, you're not going to really get you're not going to knock Matthew Stafford off his spot. And they didn't have the 13 personnel churning in week 5 either. That was pre 13, we'll call it. And that was a revolution. And it would be really, really hard for that 49ers defense to defend that with, 5'8" Upton Stout nickel corner going, trying to defend Terrence Ferguson, let's say. So yeah, definitely would rather go through the Niners than the Seahawks. But the problem.
So apparently we have a comment, and it must be a Falcons fan, because it says we almost lost 28-3 style.
Yeah. Are they referring to Super Bowl? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And the Falcons almost did. It was looking, it was resembling that game for a while, but hey, they pulled it out.
Don't you feel like if you block block an extra point, return it for a touchdown, you should also get the ball kicked back to you? That would be huge. Because it's like a safety. Like there should be a little bit of insult to injury to that kind of play.
That would be like the biggest play in football then. Like
not only did he block it, he returned it. Did you see how fast he was running so hard? And
said peace out to the Falcons bench.
Oh,
I thought he was gonna get flagged for that.
I know. I thought on sportsmanlike conduct. I've seen less get called for sportsmanlike conduct.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of the calls. Did you think that Puka Nacua catch, Ty? Did you think that was not a catch?
I thought it was a catch from the initial angle of the review, but then when they showed the front view, when you saw AJ Terrell kind of swipe at his hand, he let go of the ball and then fell out of bounds. And then when he got control of the ball again, he was already out of bounds. So from that angle, yes, it was an incomplete pass. But I mean, when you look at catches under a microscope like that, you could almost call incomplete catch almost every single time. Like it's very hard to make a completion in the NFL. But yeah, under the letter of the law, I thought it was an incomplete pass.
Anytime Puka Nacua makes one of those catches, I'm like, no way. He didn't do that. I didn't think this one was a catch. And then they showed it slowed down. And I thought, oh well, and then I was like, no. So I rode the whole emotional wave.
It's funny too, because I'm like so close to wanting to tweet it out. I'm like, do you think that there should be more like heart medication ads being run on NFL broadcasts? Because the amount of palpitations, my mom, and I've told you this, or I've mentioned this before, she will not watch a Dodger game for this very reason, because it is such an emotional high and low. I mean, this is why we love sports. This is why we love football. This is it's like it's so guttural and so raw. And, it is frustrating when you do see let's even call it, if you're a Falcons fan and you get 2 pick sixes and then you potentially have the chance to still lose the game. That is frustrating. And there's nothing. And I'm like, even catching myself, I'm like, who do I think I am that I should even be remotely frustrated that these unbelievable athletes are doing anything mildly disappointing? Do you know how hard it is to do what the heck they're doing right now? Yeah. But that's why we love it.
Well, I hope your mom did not watch the Dodger Game 7 game in the World Series. Please, I really hope not. She did not watch that.
She couldn't watch any of it. And you know what I did? Because the terribly awful daughter that I am, I put it on. I'm like, Mom, look, watch. This is what's happening. And she just, she had to leave the room. She had to leave the room.
Wow.
Anyways. Okay. So let's move the ball forward. Okay. So we did hear from McVay post-game presser, and he did talk about, what do you guys feel about his next move week 18? He is going to start his starters. How do we feel about that? You think that that's a smart move? I mean, the potential of getting anybody else injured, do we know the status with Blake Corum yet? It's a right ankle injury, but we don't know anything more than that, right?
Yeah, nothing.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I do think he should play the starters. You don't want to go into the postseason, first of all, on a 3-game losing streak. You want to go with some type of momentum. You rest your starters. Who's to say you're going to beat the Cardinals? The Cardinals are going to play for pride. They usually play the Rams kind of tough. And you need to go in, and they still got something to play for. They can get the number 5 seed. That number 5 seed in the NFC is huge. I would much rather be the 5 seed than the 6, because the 6, you either have a date probably with the Eagles or you have a date with the Bears. And those 2 running games, you already have. I still have Saquon Barkley PTSD from last year. I know the Rams do. So you don't want to face him the first round.
Yeah, 100%. And you listen to what McVay said when he was asked that question. He said, we have to play better. And I think he wants to see a more complete performance out of his team. I think he wants them to go out there, and he wants them to know, like, we have to compete. We got to show up every Sunday or Thursday or Monday. We got to show up every day, and we got to show up with a winning attitude. And I think all 3 of us have already said this. Maybe, coming into that game, it felt flat. It didn't feel like the normal on both sides of the ball. It didn't feel like the normal Rams offense, normal Rams defense. It felt like they came into this game a little sad. It's a little bit in their emotions, and maybe also thinking that they could show up and win this game doing that. And that they were proven sorely wrong in that. And so I think McVay wants them to know, like, hey, this is a young team as well. A lot of rookie contracts on this team. Listen, we got to show up. This is the playoffs now. It's different. People talk about playoff experience, and what it matters, in those games. It's a real thing. It's a different environment, especially heading into the Super Bowl, which is still where I feel this team belongs.
I was going to ask you that. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, does Ryan still think that this is the best team in the NFL? I mean, we can even just say NFC, but you are confident this is the best team. If everybody's healthy, this is the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are making a really good case for themselves as well. And I think they are probably playing more consistent football. And I think you can point to different rosters, and I think you can say, like, are the 49ers playing a more sustainable version of offense than the Rams are right now?
Elaborate what that means.
Sure. So I would say that the Rams are highly dependent on a few people executing on a high level: Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, and let's say 1 tight end, and Kyron Williams or Blake Corum. Like,
or offensive linemen.
Well, that notwithstanding, for sure. I think that, with Brock Purdy in the pocket, they're playing a really nice brand of offense right now that I think is maybe just a smidge more repeatable than what the Rams have been doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up.
That's no, what's interesting is I felt like so I get this way. Let me read this paid ad real quick, because I was told I have to do this. I'm so sorry, guys. So if you're hiring for your company, this is a busy time of year for you, because you've got new 2026 goals, which means finding the right people to accomplish them. Not easy. Unfortunately, you have new hiring challenges for 2026, like filling specialized roles or identifying qualified candidates from a huge pool of applicants. Do you know how big those applicant pools can be, guys? It's a lot. Yeah. Thankfully, there is a place for you to go that can help you conquer these challenges and achieve your hiring goals. ZipRecruiter right now. You can try for free. ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter's matching technology. It's better than all the dating apps out there. Let me tell you, it works fast to find top talents so you don't waste your time or your money. You can find out right away how many job seekers in your area are qualified for your role. Let ZipRecruiter help you find the best people for all your roles. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's impressive, right? See for yourself. Go to this exclusive web address right now. Try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Again, it's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, it's the smartest way to hire. All right, back to my point, what I was saying. I have just a tinge of ADHD. I know that's coming at a huge shock. It's not until I know I've got like 10 minutes to get ready that I get the dopamine hit of stress. And then like I become like in a game, my back's against the wall. I perform at my best. I feel like this team in the second half, or not even that, it was like the last drive. We saw like unbelievable plays. They weren't really flat. They were playing, even though they, that amazing toe tap, drag, swag, whatever it's called, by Puka, like they were dialed in. Do you think that? I think that's sometimes the issue here with this team, because they're young and there's an element of, like you said, there's like maybe not a sense of urgency. I'm just saying. I'm just asking. Tyler, go ahead. Bail me out, please, for the love of God.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but at this point in the season, you're playing Russian roulette with that, because you're about to be in win or go home situations against much stiffer competition. I mean, there were some plays where Kirk Cousins was trying to give the Rams the game. He couldn't scramble out the pocket. He was like, oh my gosh, they're coming. Let me just throw an ill-advised pass, and hopefully one of my players gets it. And it was like right there. So who's to say that, a Jalen Hurts is going to do that, or, Brock Purdy is going to do that. Sam Darnold might do that, but there are some quarterbacks and teams that aren't going to give up a 21-point lead, especially in the postseason, because if you come out flat, they're going to put their foot on your neck and keep on putting it, on the Rams. And so the Rams have to really go back to the drawing board after these two games and recognize what they did wrong. Last against Seattle, it was okay. They came out good, but then they let their foot off the gas. And in this game, it's just like they just came out flat. Like they weren't interested in playing because they put all their eggs in one basket in Seattle, and that came up short. So now they have to regroup. The good thing is they have a terrible Arizona Cardinals team that is focused on next year and their roster rebuild. And so this is a get-right game, as they say.
The other thing real quick, too, that was interesting was this loss impacted their 2026 first-round draft pick from Atlanta.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that. That's usually one of the things I check right after the game. Yeah.
So it's not only did it impact potentially their seeding, but impacted them next year, because Atlanta's draft stock changes with this win.
Yep.
So as of right now, they have the 12th overall pick in next year's draft. Tampa Bay sits right behind them, actually, at 13. So it could drop down if Tampa Bay loses that game against the Panthers. I'm not sure how the tiebreakers work in that, but interesting. Yeah.
Well,
I can't wait to ask you in a future podcast, Erin, if you think the Rams are going to draft a quarterback in the first round. But I know that's neither here nor there, but I can't wait to ask you that in a future podcast.
I love you so much. You know what? Tyler and I had a bet that this year they were going to draft a quarterback. And we were, I thought it was going to happen. Not because I thought, let's put Stafford out to pasture. Absolutely not. I thought, hey, look, let's maybe look to the future. God forbid whatever happens to Stafford. And we were close. I mean, Stafford, they were talking on the broadcast tonight. Troy Aikman said, he goes, oh, if you only knew how I was feeling like leading up. Did you guys hear what he was saying? You heard it. And so, I mean, look, I'm always prepared. I like to have an insurance plan, a backup plan, make sure we're good. And I know the Rams do too. No one saw this coming. Stafford playing well, maybe they did, but I think Stafford absolutely has exceeded expectations just in terms of how first of all, he takes such good care of the ball. Obviously, tonight doesn't necessarily count, but it does, because if you take compound the entire season, but also he threw in crazy tight windows. Like, what I appreciate about Stafford is he takes a shot even after he has taken a shot. You know, that deep ball, was it to Terrence? I think it got wiped away. But I'm like, no one does that. He is maniacal in his ability to face fear while being maybe little bit afraid, fearful, you know?
Yeah, he's having one of the best seasons of his career. And I mean, depending on what happens, he's certainly in the short list of MVP candidates. Tonight was an off night, but that doesn't take away from what he's done throughout this season.
I was wondering, if he made a comeback, 21-point deficit erased, even with the blocked extra point, would that have solidified it actually, because of the great comeback and the narrative value of that? What do you think, Tyler?
Yes, but then also I think a lot rides on next week and how both teams finish, because the MVP has become a quarterback award, obviously, and it's also become a winner's award. And Drake May has won the AFC East, and the Patriots have a chance to win the #1 overall seed in AFC. So that holds a whole lot of weight. Stafford's stats are better, leading touchdown passes and whatnot, yards over May and whatnot. But I mean, Stafford's has some hiccups. Last week wasn't that big of a hiccup, but this week, I mean, on a national stage, bright lights, Monday night, this was the chance for him to put the stamp on the MVP when voters have a chance to vote, and he really didn't, and put one of his worst performances up of the season.
Yeah. It's a bummer it happened now. I mean, because if you go on Fanduel Sportsbook at the moment, he's second favorite at plus 400, Drake May at minus 550. I don't recall.
And before the game, I Bleav Stafford was #1. But see, that's how quickly it changes. You have a national Monday nights. It's just like the Heisman Trophy in college football. It's a narrative award. You have a Indiana Mendoza bright lights game, beat Ohio State, nationally televised, solidified it. This was a perfect opportunity for Stafford against a bad Falcons team to go up 3-4 touchdown passes, no interceptions, MVP.
I mean, what Drake May did against the Jets. I mean, that's what you got to do against a team like that. And the Falcons aren't the Jets, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Stafford doesn't like that. Get it? You're not picking up what I'm putting down. You like that? Okay, sorry. An old Kirk Cousins terrible joke.
Kirk Cousins wasn't good either tonight. I mean, he tried to give that game away. Tried hard.
He's so still lovable. Like, you still love him. You want him to win at life. There's nothing to not root for. But tonight, he played good enough to get a 3-point.
Yeah, I mean, handed the ball off to Bijan. I mean, we can do that too.
20 passes for Kirk Cousins today, 8 targets, 2. Guess who? Bijan Robinson.
Oh yeah, I know.
8 of 20, plus all those other yards. I mean, it was Anyway.
I mean, how do you think Raheem's feeling, and also how do you think Chase Blackburn is feeling tonight?
I think Raheem Morris saved his job.
Yeah.
Or at least he's got a longer leash, going forward.
So I mean, if you're Raheem Morris, you go up to the front office and say, you beat the Bills and you beat the Rams in one season. And I mean, if you get healthy, get Penix back healthy, who's to say they can't win the NFC South next year? I agree with you, Ryan.
Well, that's a wrap for us.
Chase Blackburn.
Yeah. How's he feeling? He's like, well, that
hopefully
didn't go as planned.
Tahiti or Thailand or something.
Yeah. An impressive game for the Rams nonetheless. Didn't get the win. Now they're 11-5 heading into week 18. And they face the Cardinals back at home January 4th. It doesn't matter though. They're locked up in the postseason nonetheless, but that 5 or 6 seed I think will make all the difference in the world. And as McVay had said in his post game presser, he is going to start his starters. So we'll see what that means. I wonder if that means we're going to see Davante available. Do you think Davante plays? You think he's going to, Lisa Salters made the comment during the pregame that he looked great. And he said, I knew you were going to say that, or everybody says that. But do you put Davante out is the question.
I don't play him. I err on the side of caution.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's very obvious he's so important to this offense.
Yeah.
Rest him, play him in the games that really matter. They can beat this team without him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Davante less week 18 on deck for the Rams. Unfortunately, did not pull off a W in Atlanta against the Falcons, 27-24. Thanks for tuning in to Bleav in Rams with Ryan Anderson of LAFB, Tyler Dragon of USA Today. I'm Erin Coscarelli, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.